This is Pastor Joseph with Life Family, and I want to bring you a little extra because it's the little things done consistently that make a big difference. We're looking into the book of James. I love this passage of James where it says to count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. This little passage here and a couple of verses after this, it's giving us a plan, next steps on how to turn our trials into triumphs. The first thing we do, number one, to turn our trials into triumphs is to count. It says, count it all joy when you fall into these diverse temptations. What do you mean? It says when you and I start growing in our faith, we see a trend, we see a pattern here, that when we are facing opposition, adversaries, temptations, and trials, we understand that God is at work, that He's either going to give us a blessing or a lesson out of the situation. And as believers that are maturing in our faith, we understand this, that something good's going to come out of it, because we know that all things work together for good to them that are called according to His purpose and that love God. You see, we need to count. What do we need to count? It says to count it all joy. Count your blessings. Count the goodness of God. Count how many times He's made ways out of no ways. Count how many times He's brought you out through the storm. Count how many ways He saw you through your darkest nights. Count how many times joy came in the morning. Do you see where I'm going with this? We need to count our blessings and count the faithfulness of God. Why? Because it's not about our problem. The problem is only a small factor. No matter how big it is or small it is, I'm not taking away your issues or what your problems might be, but we know that it's not what happens to us, it's how we handle what happens to us. It's how we process it. And so we need to understand that if we are going to go through something, then we need to combat that problem with perspective. The proper outlook is going to give us the proper outcome. And we need to understand that tribulations, trials, testings, and adversity help us to grow. It gives us a blessing or it's going to give us a good lesson. But either way, we can count the blessings of God because He's faithful. And if He's done it before, He's going to do it again. So count with me today. Let's give God a little extra of our time, counting how good and how faithful and how awesome He is. So today, let's give God a little extra. Let's count it all joy, because when we do that, it's the little things done consistently over time that's going to make a big difference. I love you, and go count your blessings.